Hello, I've got for you today something long awaited, but I guess slightly disappointing. This is the pen, the 149 released to celebrate the 100 years of the 149 designation. They call it the Origin Collection. It's been out now for a few days, but still I think worth sharing with you. So they've released a few pens along with this Origin collection. Sadly, only one 149. I'm actually quite surprised, and that's why I say it's disappointing. There was only one 149 released so far. I'm a bit skeptical about that. I don't think it's a reasonable thing for them to do, to have only one 149, and I think about half a dozen at least 146s and 145s with this designation. But of course, being a pen that pays homage to well, its roots, its origins, it's pulling a few design elements from the original style. So the pen comes in the standard sleeve, which is I think now standard for most of their pens. Little paper sheath, and most of you have probably seen this already, but yeah, there it is. A blue marbled finish. I don't know if it's entirely blue. In this light, it doesn't seem so blue, but there's definitely blue undertones in it in this marbled finish. Plastic cap, a standard black barrel with platinum fittings. This one is medium. I've heard and read a few points about the nib in this one being tuned for something or other. But it's just a standard nib design. So you get them in the same sizes, fine, extra fine, medium, and all that. So while the nib tines aren't necessarily special, the engraving on the nib is, of course, "100 years, and then you've got the 2 years, 1924 and 2024 there on the banding around the nib. A nice little understated nib with everything I guess you'd want to see. It's 18 karat gold, and not much else to the pen body, at least. The cap feels a bit disjointed from the rest of the pen, so taking this alone, standard 149 with, of course, the extra mass at the back, a little back heavy. I guess too many people like that style, but I'm not too much of a fan of it. So with that mass, it's back heavy. But the cap is completely different. On the band, you've got the years again, right there. So Meisterstück, is it? Yes, Meisterstück. 1924 to 2024. So that's the special band. The clip, of course, stands out. I don't like this at all. Ball clips to me are, I don't know, they feel, it feels like it doesn't fit with the aesthetic of the pen. There are no lines like this elsewhere on the pen, and it just feels out of place. And then of course the finial is just a standard Montblanc emblem in precious resin. The other thing I take issue with when it comes to this particular pen, their design choice, is this Montblanc Meisterstück engraving. So it is indented in the barrel, it feels like. Is that actually right? Oh, it's printed on the barrel. Oh, that's interesting. That's even worse. So I thought it would be indented in the barrel. So when you get a standard 149, you've got the option of having something engraved in the cap to personalize it, something to customize the pen. And there you've got something that is engraved in the pen, so they actually etch the plastic to leave that mark. Here, it's just printed. Now, I don't like either of these options. I think if they go through the trouble of imprinting or of etching the plastic early in the manufacturing stage, they would be able to fill that back up with white resin, so you have an actual inlay, the way that they do with the Montblanc emblem. This print is, you can feel it, it's quite prominent. It is going to collect dirt, so that's one of the reasons why I don't like when they indent the customization, because that's harder to clean. A nice shiny bear like this is very easy to keep clean, but indents and I guess things that are proud like this are, well, they're harder to keep clean. And I think that might be down to the medical side of things. We like to keep things clean. I don't hear many people mention that type of an issue. But yeah, I just found out that it's printed on, so it's going to wear off under heavy use. So another disappointment there, but there you have it. So I think if people don't like this clip too much, you could always switch it out with a platinum standard clip. That's probably what I'm going to do if I use this every day, or better yet, just pull that nib out and put on a standard 149. So I think this is a basic nib. There's nothing particularly special about it. So it's not a calligraphy nib. It's not it's just the standard nib that you get. But let's see if we can look at how it performs on a few different types of paper. So I've got some ink here. Just give it a little charge. Little Naruto orange. Beautiful color. Stands out well on the platinum nib. And let's see, this is Hobonichi, just basic Hobonichi paper. Let's see, find a blank page, and wonderful scroll work for you. I know people comment on this sort of thing, but yeah. Is there feedback? Can you hear it? It feels very much like a standard nib. This paper is pretty smooth. There's not much feathering. This ink takes a while to dry. But here we've got some MD paper. Also really good for fountain pen writing. You're not going to hear that. The camera's not going to pick that up, but very much a standard nib. Not much flex. But yeah. Clairefontaine. Let's see how that does. Clairefontaine's usually a bit smoother. And yeah, you definitely feel the quality of the paper here is a lot smoother. And then finally, because office paper is the type of paper that I always get my hands on, and it's always given to me to write on, a lot of feathering, a lot of bleeding on this type of paper. Yeah, I think the idea that the nib is tuned or special compared to their standard nib, I think, is a bit of a made-up fairy tale. So there you have it. The, I guess, April release for Montblanc's 100-year commemoration of the 149. I still don't believe them when they say that there are no limited editions coming. I think there must be limited editions coming. For the 90 years they had quite a few pens to select from. And if this is the only pen they release specifically as a 149 for the 100-year celebration of a 149, it's farcical, I would say. So I think there's probably a limited edition coming. Hope to get that to you and share that to you if it does come. But oops, there we go. A interesting edition. I think if anyone has a collection of 149s, this is a necessary edition. to mark the occasion, but maybe not divisive. Nobody cares too much about these to be divisive, but yeah, an interesting packaging, interesting design choices. I wish it had just been entirely black. Would have been easier, but there you go. Nice little addition.